Start. Hey, so you are going broke by not having a home business. That is the facts. And I'm going to break it down for you, but we're going to talk about why are you going broke? So many people feel like they don't have enough money. There's never enough money. There's always something happening, right? And maybe you're thinking, hey, I just want to live in a world where if my kid comes home from school with the those things to order books, right? That when they come home with that, and your kids are little and they come home and they're rushing in and they're like, "Mom, we got book fair coming up." And they're so excited and they're so cute and they want to order a book, and your first thought is, "How in the flip am I going to pay for this?" Like maybe it's your goal just to not feel that way when that comes home. Maybe it's your goal that when your kid comes home and they want to order a book, you can be like, "Awesome, buddy. Which ones do you want? Let's pick one. Let's pick two." Maybe that's your goal. Maybe your goal is that this Christmas you're not going to feel like it's an added stress. How the heck am I going to make this work? Maybe that's your goal. I don't know. Post it below. Some of you are joining me here. I'd love to hear what your goal is. Maybe it's you want a goal of having someone come in and help you clean the house because you're busy, right? You got kids, you got a life, you got a dog. Maybe you're like me. You got a dog and fish and guinea pigs. Oh, we have one of our guinea pigs. We had 3 guinea pigs, and actually one passed away yesterday. So that was sad. That sucked for the kids. But maybe that's your goal. Maybe you aren't even thinking, "Hey, I want to make a ton of money, but man, I just feel like I'm working harder than I'm getting back," and you want to change that. But what I found out, and these numbers floored me. I've been a business owner for many years, so I know that the taxes, the tax rules are written for business owners, right? And you might have heard that before. Maybe you've heard Jeff Bezos, Amazon, they make billions of dollars in revenue, but they pay 0 tax. Why the hell is that? Why is it that you're going to work every day and it feels like a huge chunk of your paycheck is going to CRA or taxes every single month, right? How is that fair? Well, tax rules are actually built for business owners, not for people that make income through their jobs. And so I was listening to an American stat. So if you're American, this is the stats for you. In the US, the average person makes $60,000 a year. After tax in the US, the average take home of that is $46,000. The average cost of living in the United States is $52,000 a year. So that means the average family, single earner family, is going in debt $7,000 a year. Why is there a debt crisis? Well, maybe that's why. And so I said, well, what is the numbers in Canada? Right? I'm in Canada. And so I looked it up, and this is what it is. So the average Canadian income in 2020 was $54,630. You can Google it. Stats Canada collects this kind of information. So the average Canadian family makes $54,630, or the average person, right? Now, of course, there's some variances in provinces, but that was all of them blended together. Now, after taxes, what is that? You could make a lot of money, but what actually goes in your bank account is what matters, isn't it? Right? It doesn't matter if you make $1 million, but you only have 1,000 go in your bank account. So what do you actually take home of that? So I Googled that, and there's these calculators online that do that. And so if you're living in Alberta, which actually is one of the lower tax provinces, your take-home pay off of $54,630 would be $44,234. Okay, that was actually better than the US, wasn't it? Which we always hear that we have higher taxes than the US, but actually we took home more money. So if you made $54,630 last year, you took home in your bank account $44,234. All right. Now, what is the average cost of living? Because you've got to live somewhere, you've got to eat food, you probably drive a car. What is the average cost of living? Well, the average cost of living for a family of four in Canada last year was $5,158 a month, or $61,896 a year. So you took home $44,234, but it's going to cost you $61,896 a year to take care of your family. So every single year, if you are a family that is trying to raise your family and have one income earner, you're going in debt $17,662 every year. Does it start to make sense while we're feeling so broke? So what do? We go and we get another job. So mom goes to work. Maybe she gets a part-time job and she's making even 30 grand a year. Well, how much is childcare? You got one kid, I don't know, $12,000 a year. You got two kids, $24,000 a year. So you haven't even broken even, because by the time you pay the tax, even if you were making, mom goes to work full time, she's making that average income of $54,630, and it could be mom or dad. They're taking home $44,234, and then they pay childcare. There's not really enough left over, is there, to make up that shortfall of $17,662 a year. So you're not even hardly breaking even. It's not making a difference. This is why so many families are moving backwards, or that, the average stat I saw was the average family in Canada is $200 or less of not being able to meet their monthly bills. And we all think, oh my God, this doesn't make sense. Or we say, wow, that's how I feel, right? And so usually what happens is the financial advice out there is, well, spend less money, right? Just cut out Starbucks. Stop going to Starbucks and all your problems are going to be solved. Well, maybe it's not that simple, right? If we are having a $17,000 deficit every year, right out the gate, maybe it's not that simple. So when I was saying you might be going broke because you don't have a small business, this is what I meant. The tax laws are built for business owners. So when you have a small business, a home business, the rules in Canada are, and I'm not a tax professional, I just want to say that I am not a tax professional. So you gotta consult an accountant, you gotta look it up on CRA's website yourself, okay? But you can start to turn some of those living expenses into business expenses. So your home office expenses can be huge. So like me, you have to have a dedicated home office, and then the percentage of your home that represents, you can write off your taxes. So that means your property tax, your utilities, your home maintenance and repairs, your mortgage interest, or the percentage of your rent. Man, that's starting to add up, right? Of course, you can start to turn things like your part of your cell phone, right? I'm doing this live on my cell phone. So I'm using it for business. I'm using it to try and generate income, or when I'm talking to clients and things like that, I'm using my phone to try and generate business. And so in the eyes of the CRA, I am endeavoring to earn income. So now the expenses that are the money it takes basically to try and earn that income is now tax deductible. In the US, it's similar. What I've learned is that in the US, you need to earn $1 first before it becomes a tax deduction, but all the costs that you accumulated up to that point, I am told, as soon as you earn that dollar, now those expenses you can add on to your taxes. So you can backdate that expense and turn it into a tax deduction. So that can really add up. So the person I was listening to is an accountant out of the States, and they were saying that the average person that has a home business, now there's no revenue level needed for this to apply. It's, are you trying to make income, right? And of course you want to be legit, but maybe you make quilts, maybe you sell something on Etsy, maybe you, I don't know, do something, right? Everyone can do something. But the average person that did that, they would save in the US about $8,000 in taxes a year. So you would equal out or above what you're losing or going in deficit by just having a job. And in Canada, it's very similar. Canada actually at least when I'm looking at it. Again, I'm not an accountant, but knowing from my own taxes and stuff, when you're doing them, and you're adding up all that stuff, it can really, really, really be to your benefit. So if you're traveling, I have my company I'm with, we're going to Whistler next month. So Tim Grover, you might have heard him. He has a book called Relentless, and now he has a book called Winning. He was Kobe Bryant's coach. He's actually coming to Whistler to talk to us. It's going to be amazing. Actually, if you're a big Kobe Bryant or Tim Grover fan, message me and I can get you a hookup for that event. But he's coming to Whistler, and he is going to talk to us. So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be an amazing weekend. If you've never been to Whistler, it's in the mountains of British Columbia, Canada. We're staying at the Fairmont, which, if you've never stayed at a Fairmont, is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. Surrounded by mountains. There'll be white caps on the mountains and the forest, and it's really a really special place. What I like best about when I stay at the Fairmont is they have these outdoor hot tubs and pools. They're heated, and they will serve you alcohol at the pool. So it's like you're in a real resort. So I'm really excited to go. So we're going to Whistler to do that. That is a business expense. That's a business trip. So now I can use all those expenses on my taxes. So my husband's coming with me. He's a partner in my business. He's coming with me. If I bring my kids and things like that, those expenses are now business expenses. So isn't that cool? I can go and enjoy a weekend with my husband. I'm going to see a top rated speaker. I'm going to just have such a great time, and I get to write that off against my taxes. So I don't know if there's a business that you can do or that you've thought about, but sometimes people get caught up on, oh my God, I'm not making a bunch of profit in my business. I'm just saying, hey, even if you just, do a little bit of work here and there, but you look at the tax benefits of it, that can really add up. I love it. I would never go back. I can never have a job. Kudos to you guys again. But, I can't imagine having someone tell me when I can have days off, or, asking permission to go to Whistler from someone. But I also looked up the top jobs. Maybe you're thinking, well, maybe I just need to make more money. So the top jobs in Canada for pay was mining. It was about $131 average a year, or $131,000. Utilities, I don't know what that is. I think that's like power linesmen, people that work for ACCO. Man, they charge a lot of money, so I hope they're paying their employees a lot of money. Finance and insurance was an average salary of $76,000. Professional services, I guess doctors, lawyers, things like that, $76,000 a year. Public administration was an average of $75,000. So I think this is like, I used to work, like I was a city councilor. I think it's the people that work in those kind of public service type positions are usually fairly well paid. Most of those I think you'd have to go back to school for. So if you're wanting to up your income, you might have to go back to school. For what I do, you actually don't have to go back to school, which is the cool thing. It's like a course and an apprenticeship that you do. So some of those other ones you might be able to approach that way. But even if you increase your income, you're also going to increase your taxes, aren't you? So it might be worth looking at if there's something that you do on the side, some sort of hobby that you have. I think it might be worth looking at, can you actually just get ahead more by making a home business and giving it a go? Whether you go full-time or not, I think the benefit is clear. Again, average Canadian families making $54,000 a year. They're taking home $44,000, but it costs $61,000 plus a year cost of living for a family of four. So it is impossible for families like that to just have one parent staying home these days. And I don't know about you, but we don't work just to pay the tax man, do we? So I hope these tips were helpful. I hope that you saw value out of it. If you did, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear what you do for a home business. I'd love to hear what your ideas are. And like I said, if you have any interest in getting hooked up with a virtual ability to watch that Tim Grover presentation, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'd love to hook you up with that.